Hello, I was waiting for you, Marius. Hello, Greg. Colin has the cold, and he asked me, do you want to play tonight? I said, I do not want to catch a cold. So here I am, painting on my own some. Hello, Adam. So if you wonder why there's no live game tonight, it's because I just got done with Michael having a snotty nose for about a month. I'm not having the kids catch a cold again. Literally 1 week after 1 week after getting it out of the household. So, hello Matthew. You're more than welcome. Thanks for sending me your army list review. So, no live game tonight, which is fine. I've got a banger of a tactics video coming on Friday. I need to get paint on a couple of models anyway. I've got this guy, and I've got this converted ancient that I'm working on as well for my company heroes. I'm going to probably field these both. Probably going to be fielding both these guys at the tournament I'm going to. So, painting is not going to be the worst idea tonight. Tell me, Marius, how are you getting on with your tournament painting? So I'm going to start by giving this guy a wash with Agrax Earthshade, and I'm kind of just going to wash most of the model, I feel like. And then I'm going to move on to the other guy while the wash dries. So that's the plan. Where's the chat? Do you know what? I've got two monitors in front of me. I've actually got three monitors, but I like having chat on this monitor in the bottom left, because then I don't have to look over here. I was so close to trying to come up for the Easter holidays. Marius, whenever you want a game on the channel, you just let me know. I'm ready to Blood Angels versus Ultramarines. It's been a while, so I'm ready for it. You got a couple of Ballistus Dreadnoughts and Gravis Captain to go. I mean, I've got 3 colours on everything, but I would like to finish this character. I would like to finish this company hero character. I would like to probably finish the Sanguinar. And then I guess some of my bikes will be battle ready and some of my tanks will be battle ready, but all my infantry will be pretty close to being done. So that's where I'm at. Sangry Guard are pretty evil at the moment, Matthew. Are you playing? I forget, Matthew. I mean, I must have looked at your list like 2 nights ago. What are you? Are you Inheritors or are you Liberator Assault Group at the moment? What's the thoughts on 6 Blade Guard in the Impulsor? I mean, I ran that in my Liberator Assault Group list. I think Blade Guard and Impulsor are generally accepted as a pretty strong unit. I feel like they deserve a character, right? Like, even if you're doing even if you're doing 3 Blade, like if you're doing Angelic Inheritors, 3 Blade Guard with a Judiciar is probably fine. If you're doing Liberator Assault Group, then I think I know a lot of people like the Judiciar in Liberator Assault Group. I think that the Chaplain is really good in Liberator Assault Group. The +1 to wound, like all the time, especially when you can give that Chaplain fight first, is like super nice. So yeah, I mean, I was playing Blade Guard when they were like 180 points for 6. I thought they were fine. So 160 points for 6, yeah, I mean, I think we actually had someone submit a list that was 18 Blade Guard since the point drop. I think I own 10 Blade Guard, but I mean, if you had 18 of them, I don't think it'd be the worst idea. How does the Lieutenant sound? I mean, the Lieutenant sounds fine, I guess, for fallback and charge again, but I mean, I think the Chaplain is just better, because +1 to wound all the time. Like, normally we have to pay 1 CP to get +1 to wound, right? The Chaplain just gives you it all the time. But I mean, I guess the downside of the Chaplain is he doesn't have a very good melee weapon. So, yeah, Lieutenant sounds fine as well. I mean, I fielded the Chaplain when I went to the GT in the summer. Sorry, not summer, in winter. I'd probably do that again. Will they ever be able to balance Sangry Guard and Death Guard, so one is not always trash and the other is not always a must-take, asks Miguel. I think, you know, someone was talking about that in Discord today, actually, and I think in 8th edition and 9th edition, there was periods when both units were quite viable. We just haven't had a period in 10th edition when both the Death Company and the Sanguinary Guard have been quite viable. So I think it'll come. I guess it's not come yet, but I do think it will come. Or at least I'm hopeful it'll come, right? Hopeful would be a better word. Did I find the missing part? No, dude, I didn't. This little bit on the back here, this little wing, I just chopped another wing bit off. I didn't find it. So I had to repaint that, and this sword that he's got in his right hand now is a completely different sword. The axe broke into 3. I only found 2 of the 3 parts. I have too much stuff in this room. Like, I just recently put up that like wall foam behind this wall, so that like it's supposed to give better acoustics, you know, so like when I speak the sound doesn't vibrate off the wall and stuff. So I've got like way too much stuff all set up. Like I've got cameras and microphones and lights all mounted around the monitors here. I could move this stuff, but it would take me hours to move it and hours to put it back. So I just went and cut. I cut a sword off one of the new Sanguinary Guard sprues. I must admit I haven't really used those new Sanguinary Guard sprues for anything yet, because I haven't been in any sort of a rush to build a new Sanguinary Guard. So I cut one of the swords off and just replaced it. So as much as I liked him dual wielding axes, he now wields 1 axe and 1 sword. I know it isn't competitive, but it's the bolter variant of the Reavers with the Phobos Lieutenant, can pop out, shoot a few precision shots, and then hide again. Yeah, I mean, they can, but yeah, you're probably right. It's probably not super competitive, right? It'd be a nuisance, but I don't know if I spend like 135 points for a nuisance. I feel like that, you know, for 135 points you could just take 3 Sanguinary Guard, and they're not just a nuisance, they'll legitimately be a scary threat. Whereas I feel like Reavers are just a bit of a nuisance. Some people love Reavers, not me. I played them like 1 time, maybe 2 times. They're alright. They usually get countered, I think. I mean, I know that they can remove enemy infantry OC, but if people know you have them, they usually try and counter them, so I'm not sure I feel Reavers are that meaningful at the moment. I don't know how true this is, but Plague Marines going to toughness 6 will be hard for Blood Angels. Yeah, I mean, it probably will be hard for Blood Angels. It sounds like Death Guard are going to be pretty good, right? They're going to get their Contagion for minus toughness, and they're going to potentially have the minus weapon skill and minus save as well. So Death Guard do sound like they're going to be pretty interesting. I guess the big question is whether or not they're going to get to keep their 3 damage weaponry, right? Because at the moment they have a lot of characters that do flat 3 damage, and that's really deadly into Blood Angels. So if they lose all their 3 damage weaponry, but their contagions are a bit more brutal, I mean, it's hard to say, right? Like, I genuinely worry about playing Death Guard because they have so much 3 damage weaponry, and 3 damage weaponry is like the nemesis of Sanguinary Guard. They also have permanent -1 to wound on the Death Shroud. I think that's going to go away as well, right? I have the sword you sent me, Marius. I must admit I haven't used it. I kind of forgot that I had it, so I could definitely use it in the future. I mean, if you want to paint more things for me, I'm not going to say no, dude. You know how slow a painter I am. Next time I make a character with a sword, I will use that sword. How about that? I mean, I usually make characters with swords like, I was going to say like every 6 months or so. Surely I need a new character with a sword. I only play Death Guard as Blood Angels. Am I cooked? I don't think you'll be cooked, man. I think we'll still be able to beat them. I think Death Guard are going to be even slower than they are right now, right? And they're already tragically slow. So I think there'll be opportunities still to beat them, for sure. I think they'll be strong, but I think they'll be slow. Commodore said, played my first game with 3x6 Angry Guard and 2x6 Plasma Inceptors, plus character support and a few action units. It's wildly destructive and fun. Is it competitive, though? 18 Sangry Guard. Which detachment? I assume that you're playing Angelic Inheritors. I don't know if I feel like Sangry Guard are good enough to field 18 of them. Are they? You could have mixed the guy up and gone through battle damage. I did think about going through battle damage, but oh well, I just gave him a new sword, man. I think I was just annoyed at the time that the sword had... Like, I have dropped this model 4 times. So I feel like there's a good chance I'm probably going to drop it again. I hope I don't. I'd like to just get it finished and get get varnish on it and move on to the next model, honestly. Hola! It's kind of funny that the World Eater detachment rule basically became one of our detachments. Yeah. It's crazy how everything leaked again, though, right? And apparently Valrak was on about Assault Terminators starting to leak as well. He said that, like, I don't remember, I only half watched... Well, I did watch the whole video, but only half paid attention to it, right? He was talking about, like... Was it, like, the Salamanders leaks, potentially? Was it? That we're going to get, like, Assault Terminators? Or was it going to be, like, there's going to be a Codex Space Marine 2.0 for all the factions that didn't get it, like Raven Guard and all this? Hello, Iridine, good evening. Yeah, so I'm not live tonight. Well, I am live, but I'm not live on a battle report tonight because Colin has the flu. And I didn't want to pick the flu up, so we're going to play next week instead. My one boy, my son, has had like a snotty nose for like, honestly, like the last 3 weeks or something. So I was like, I don't want the flu in my house again. And I need to get this stuff painted anyway, because I've got this GT coming up in like, not long now, maybe like 3 or 4 weekends time I've got a GT. So it'd be nice to get another model or 2 completed before then. And plus I've been working on this guy for ages now, it feels like. It'd be like over a month. Good evening, Cotton. Good evening, Phil. Assault Terminators are coming with Space Marine 2.0. Yes, so says the rumor. So says Valrak. Hello, Surf Song. Hello, how are you? I really hope that they fix their frickin' weapon skill. If Assault Terminators are still weapon skill 4 up, then they've massively missed the mark, and they've not been paying any attention to why Assault Terminators are not good this edition. Anyone want to place a bet on whether they fixed the Assault Terminator's weapon skill? Like, what's the odds? Anyone? I really hope they fixed it. Because if they haven't fixed it, we're just going to keep running regular Terminators. Unless they got some other massively better rule. But I doubt that's going to happen. Surf Song's having a snack before I get back to work. Dude, I feel your pain. Today at my job, I was struggling a little bit. Happens to the best of us, right? Like, you got good intentions, but sometimes the days drag, sometimes something comes up and kicks your ass. I get you. You stay strong, brother. You've got this. I've been going to the gym regularly now for like, this is let's see, this is April, so in 2 more months I'll have been going to the gym regularly every day, or not every day, sorry, every week for a year now. And that's actually helped me a lot with them. They're definitely still going to be 4 up on the hammers. Well, they're definitely still going to sit on the shelf, Serve Song. Like, there's no reason that Terminators should be 4 up on their hammers when they only get... They only get, like... I think it's only 4 attacks with the hammers, right? So they're going to hit 2 times with each hammer. That's worthless. It's strength 8, that is worthless. Even if you put a character to buff them and, like, give them +1 to wound, I still think that's worthless. I don't understand why they are so worthless. I think as I get old, I get bitter in my old age. I used to be so positive. Now I'm just bitter. I don't think anyone's officially confirmed that there'll be a 4 up to hit yet. But yeah, I mean, it's probably gonna happen, right? Grain of Truth says that there'll be 3 up on the promo sheet, but 4 up in the codex just to get those models sold. No, I don't think they'll fix them. I think they'll still be 4 up, and I think we'll all be sat here in whenever it is 3 months time in the release going, well, if they're 3 up, we'd probably field them, right? Like, I think that's what's going to happen. Welcome to the club. What, the bitterness club? Can I become a member? Can I? I feel like I consciously don't want to be in that group of YouTube people that do nothing but bitch, you know that? What would it take to run Assault Terminators? Probably just make the Thunderhammers 3s to hit, man. Like, why are they 4s to hit? If they had the same rules as the regular Terminators, where you could use Oath to get +1 to hit. Right? So you could use Oath to get +1 to hit. I mean, you could almost argue that if they just had that same... Like, they could be 4s to hit if there was an easy way to buff them with +1 to hit. But yeah, I just think that there's a massive disconnect there on, like... So if you fight anything that is -1 to hit, suddenly those Assault Terminators are completely garbage, right? Because you're hitting on 5s. So like if you're playing against Death Guard and they've got Nurglings running around, cool, you're hitting on 5s. What can you actually kill hitting on 5s, even if you use Oath? The answer is nothing. Is that not what the new Death Guard rule is going to be anyway? -1 to hit. Are we running regular Terminators now? I'm not, but I think you can run them. Some people are running them. I know, like, some people have been running regular Terminators all edition. They just don't really suit what I'm trying to do this edition, I guess. And they have come down in points recently, but they were expensive for, like, a long time in this edition, right? Like, only recently they come down to, like, 170, is it, for 5? Like, for a while there, they were... Was it, like, 195 or maybe even 200 for 5? Like, they were very expensive this edition. But historically, like, if we go back through 8th edition and 9th edition, have I run Terminators with Blood Angels? Yes. In fact, I was probably one of the few people that actually used to run them to tournaments quite regularly. I've made top table at tournaments before running Blood Angels Terminators. Did that in 9th edition, I think? Top table with Terminators. Might have done it in 8th edition as well, top table with Terminators. And I mean, at the time, no one was running Terminators. I say no one, but like on an average army list show, you know, we do the army list show on Sunday night. on an average show, there'd be like one other guy running Terminators out of like however many lists we look at on said given night. We usually look at somewhere in the region of like 6 to 8 lists or something, and there'd be like one random guy running Terminators, except for me, right? 170 for 5, but you can get 6 Blade Guard for 160. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I don't run the Terminators. I think they're better and fieldable at 170. I just haven't been running them myself personally. Thanks for the kind words about the paint job. It isn't the greatest paint job ever, but it's sort of coming together, isn't it? I mean, none of my paint jobs are the greatest paint jobs ever, I must admit, but it's coming together a little bit. Thanks for the kind words. So who else is painting tonight? I know Marius is painting. Anyone else painting tonight? Or are you guys all hoping to see a Blood Angels battle report and I've let you all down by painting? Callum, thanks so much for subscribing. Did actually hit 20,200 subscribers this week. Sagregard are basically flying Terminators. For the most part, they are, yeah. A little bit more expensive. Ardene's building 30k merch. Oh, mech. Sorry, I think you said merch. Mech. Hello, Foz. Good evening. I'm just finishing an experimental Tyrannid scheme that makes it look as if they're melting. Is that because you are obsessed with flamers and you need to make it... You need to paint your Tyrannids as if they are melting from flamethrowers? Hello, McFatson. Good evening. Pack's building 5-man incursors, 5-man infiltrators right now. That's good. They're always useful, both of those units. Alex is in the house. Hello, Alex. Fernand Ito says, hi, sir, I have a question. If I wanted you to rate my list on the Sunday stream, what would I need to do? You would need to post it in the comments from last week's Sunday show. So go find the show that was live on Sunday. And post your list as export it from the Games Workshop app or just in text format, and post it as a comment in that show from Sunday. That's what you need to do. Did I still have the little raffle thing on it? Yeah, where is it? Oh, it's not working. So anyone that has been living under a rock for the last 2 weeks, we've got a raffle running at the moment where you can win like a couple $100 worth of Blood Angels pieces. Let me see if I can get this working. Yeah, look, it's here. Win Blood Angels conversion kits. So I'm just going to stick it in this corner. There, that's a good advert. I was going to say, can I keep that on? No. Keep it on the screen. Damn. Alright, I can't do that. Good idea. Bad execution. Am I Aberdonian? I lived in Aberdeen for like 6 years, but I'm not originally from Aberdeen. But hello, Luxie. Hello, Nate. Lots of people tuning in tonight. 42 watching. Guys, if you get 2 seconds tonight, if you could leave a like on the stream. I don't know how many likes we've got. We've got 9 likes. So 33 people need to press the like button. It does help me out ever so much, right? Like, the YouTube algorithm is a fickle beast. And I don't always make the best videos. So anytime you do enjoy anything that I do, if you can hit the like button, I would super appreciate that. Thank you. But thanks very much for coming past, stopping past, hanging out. I do appreciate it. Do you ever get to a point where you're painting something and you're doing like a wash? This is a jump captain, by the way. And like just in there under the shoulder pad, I just realised that you're supposed to, under that shoulder pad, have like a little join with his armour, and I'm supposed to have put grey paint in there. I completely missed it up until now, and this must be like the 100th time I've looked at this model. But under that shoulder pad, there is no grey, so I haven't done the armour joint. You ever get that? Like, you get really far in the model, and then you're like, I completely missed a bit. I must have looked at this model 100 times, and I've missed a bit. How annoying. How long until we get the Eldar battle report? Dude, I mean, so I've got a GT on the 17th of May, which I'm definitely fielding Angelic Inheritors for. And then I've got a GT early August, which I'm going to field either, like if my Angelic Inheritors list does really well at the GT that I go to in May, I'm going to field it again, or I'm going to field a variant of it. If it doesn't do well, I'm going to go back to fielding something similar to that Liberator Assault Group list that I did in January. Because I feel like the Liberator Assault Group list I did in January, bar like one game where my opponent rolled unbelievable save rolls. The best save rolls I've seen in the longest time. He was super lucky to beat me. It all came down to the fact that, like, he honestly made like 15 4-up saves. He made so many 4-up saves he actually apologized to me because he was making too many saves. That's when you know your opponent is rolling hot. When he apologizes for rolling so many saves. So my opponent was rolling crazy hot in one game, and then the other game I had to play pre-nerf Bridgehead Imperial Guard, which I actually did really well against, only lost by like 10 points. And if I'd known a little bit more about how Bridgehead played or what they could do, potentially, I feel like I could have actually won that game. First game against Bridgehead, the renewed attachment, zero experience against them, right? So, I mean, that's me for like the next 4 months with Blood Angels tournaments that I need to be prepared for and need to do well and do videos. So yeah, I mean, Eldar for me are just firmly on the back foot. I know I bought an Eldar army. I haven't even done the video of like unboxing the Eldar army since I bought it, right? Like I'm doing Blood Angel stuff right now. I will eventually do that video, I guess, right? But like, I guess the focus is very much Blood Angels. I'd like to see you fight Colin's Death Guard once the Codex comes out. Yeah, I mean, of course we'll have that battle report, yeah. What else is cool to add to Blood Angels display? Mephiston is cool, Dante is cool, both of which would be good additions to your army. Potentially the Sanguiner. If you've bought the Combat Patrol, then you've got Sanguinary Guard. Assault Intercessors with jump packs are pretty good. Impulsors are pretty good. Impulsors also look cool. I don't think 3x3 Sanguinary Guard and Angelic Inheritors are all that expensive. Considering how good that unit is in that detachment, I actually think it's kind of fine and reasonably well balanced. If it goes down, like I'm not going to say like I wouldn't like it if it was 5 points cheaper, but I do feel like it's totally playable with the points cost it currently has. Like I am fine with the cost of those 3-man Sanguinary Guard squads. I joined the main 40k Discord and was told to give you a follow. Someone in the main Discord is being very kind to me then. I appreciate you following, and I appreciate you coming and hanging out. Most of my content is around becoming a better player. Where the hell is my... What am I looking for? Mechanicus Standard Grey. Mechanicus Standard Grey. Get every other grey except there it is. Mechanicus Standard Grey. Yeah, so I put content out every week trying to make people better players, and that's the exact video I've got coming out on Friday. They said you're the expert in Blood Angels. Expert is kind. I mean, I have won tournaments with Blood Angels. In the last couple of years, I've won 2. But I'm desperate to get another win, right? Like, so, I mean, I guess a lot of my content is around me trying to find that elusive next tournament victory, and then sharing how I achieve that and what you guys can learn from my mistakes. Because, hey, I make plenty of mistakes. I think Warhammer is a hobby where, everybody makes some mistakes, right? God, I've really made a mess of that. I knew I was going to make a mess of it. It was such a little armor piece in there, though. Okay, fine. I'm going to let this guy dry. How long have I been into Blood Angel? Since I was 15 years old. So at this point, like 27 years. I did take a break for like a decade, though. It maybe actually was before I was 15 years old, so maybe a little bit longer than 27. But yeah, it's into, like, I've been back since, I think I've been back since 2017, so I've been back for about 8 years. But I did have a big break in the middle. The break, I think my break was about 8 years, so probably played for 10 years, break for 8 years, back for 8 years. What made you choose them? The bit of paper in that second edition rulebook. You know the bit I'm talking about? The painting guide in the second edition rulebook. It wasn't actually in the rulebook, sorry, it was like second edition Warhammer came with a painting guide. It was like a 2-page piece of paper, black, and you opened it and it showed you how to paint the orcs and it showed you how to paint the Space Marines, and at that point it was the Blood Angels. Gordon says, is a 5-man Incursor squad okay to use in place of scouts for a 1,000-point list? As you get them with the Infiltrator set, and it saves me buying a £40 scout set. I mean, it is okay. Is it as competitive as scouts? Probably not. But, I mean, there's literally nothing wrong with Incursors. They're a good unit. They have got a lot better recently. We've actually started seeing a lot more people field them since they got the... What did they get again? Since they got the AP given back to them, because they got the AP back on their banners. So yeah, I think Incursors are fine. I think you will eventually want scouts, sure. But like if you're starting out and you have a unit of Incursors, yeah, they're fine. They give another unit +1 to hit. They combat pretty nicely now, and they have mines as well. I mean, there's nothing really negative to say about them. In 9th edition, every single Blood Angels list literally used 3 units of Incursors. So in 10th edition, they've been out of the meta for a little while, but I'm sure they'll be back as well. They're a good support squad? Yeah, 100%. I have a soft spot for Incursors because I used them, like I said, in 9th edition I used them like all the time. I think everybody was using them all the time in 9th edition pretty much. Could the Incursors be the answer to the Salt Terminators hitting on 4s? Unfortunately not, because if I'm like 90% sure their buff to +1 to hit is for the shooting phase only. You know, if you're a new player, dude, what you should do is when you play your opponent with your said squad of Incursors, in one of your games you should ask, hey dude, do you mind if these Incursors, I proxy them as scouts for this game? Nas Ali, thanks so much for subscribing. Because here's the thing, if you proxy them for a game and then, you know, you be like, I hate buying models to find out that the rules stink and I wasted my money. Because models are not, I mean, this is when the models were like $20 a box. They're now like 40 or $50 a box, right? So you don't want to spend 40 or 50 bucks and be like, do you know what? I spent 40 bucks on scouts. They don't fit my playstyle. I really don't like them. So what I would do is next time you're, like, if you've got a regular opponent and you've played him a few times with the incursors, I would say to him, hey, in the next game, do you mind if I use my incursors as a proxy for scouts? And use them as scouts and use the rules as scouts and see if they fit with what you're trying to do. The main thing to do is to try and match the base size, right, when you're proxying stuff. Like, and then if you proxy them and you like them, great, go and buy them. If you proxy them and you think, yeah, not for me, then don't waste your money, right? That's what I would do. I often proxy tanks or dreadnoughts. You know, because tanks and dreadnoughts usually have very similar base sizes, so it's very easy to proxy. But yeah, I would definitely find someone who's willing to proxy you some scouts. Especially if you're new and you don't know if the scouts are going to fit with what you do, and maybe you just don't jive with them or whatever, right? Good evening, Highland Phoenix. How on earth are you? I mean, here I am painting a complete... This is a complete conversion. So I'm using this guy as a company hero because he's on the right size base for a company hero. I've used him to multiple tournaments as a company hero. He is not a company hero, he is a Terminator. In fact, he's a Terminator librarian who is being played as a company hero with a banner, so a company ancient. Because I figure he's just as big as a company ancient. No one's going to complain that he is smaller than a company ancient, because a company ancient is arguably smaller than a guy with a Terminator who is a Terminator with a giant banner. So as long as he's on the right size base, which he is, 40mm base for the company heroes, then this was basically, I need a squad of company heroes, and I didn't want to buy them because I didn't know if I would like them. So I just grabbed I had 2 Terminator librarians. I figured I don't need 2 of them. I actually have the old... You remember the Blood Angels had their own Terminator librarian back in the day. So I had my own... I already had a Terminator librarian fully built, and I had 2 of these guys on sprue. So I just grabbed one of these guys. I don't even remember what I did with his... Oh yeah, this guy's got a tiny little hand. Look, you remember that movie with the tiny little hand? Because he's a Terminator, but he's got a banner from a Sangre Guard. Sangre Guard have much smaller hands. So this guy has a tiny little hand that's hidden behind the banner. To save me money and let me proxy, and guess what? Turns out I love company heroes. And now I love the fact that this guy has character and he's unique. And he is mine and no one else has one like him. I mean, maybe somebody does, but do you know what I mean? He's mine, he's unique. How long does it take you on average to finish painting a guy? Each model, each character, and this is a character with a lot of detail, I would say somewhere between 5 and 8 hours. If it's just a regular guy with like a bolt gun, maybe it's like 3 hours. But yeah, I'm pretty slow at painting. And I'm also pretty pernickety about them looking like they're all uniform and that they all match. Like, I got some finished Terminators here. This is everybody's favourite Terminator, right? The one with the Primaris head. Everybody loves this Terminator. So yeah, when the character's got all this like filigree, which is all this like stupid gold wires and stuff, I'm guessing someone like that, this guy probably took like somewhere in the region of like 6 to 8 hours. That's usually about standard for me. But yeah, I feel like I'm quite a slow / battle ready painter. I think my painting quality is battle ready, so I'm not usually when I go to tournaments and, you know, like between the games they have like lay your army out for the painting competition, I usually don't enter. I feel like there's a lot of people that paint to a lot higher standard than I do. Sometimes I get a nice comment, like someone will be like, you should enter your army. I'm like, oh thanks dude, I appreciate it. Oh shit, McFatson came in with a 5 super chat. Termagants are like 15 bucks in burger dollars and £11 in funny money on secondhand sites. They have the same base size as scouts too. Yeah, you could. eBay is a great place for finding models that people just don't want anymore. Do I do shading? Yeah, with washes, man. Just like the GW washes usually. Yeah, I use eBay a lot actually for models. In cursors or a model, you can I was gonna say you can almost find any model on eBay, to be honest. If you are relentless at checking eBay day on day after, you will find some real good deals on them. Dude, I remember the dollar cheeseburgers, man. See, when I was a student, McFatson, I used to, like, my dinner on any given night used to be like 3 items off the dollar menu. I mean, in the UK it was the pound menu, but it's the same thing, right? It was like $1 for like a cheeseburger. It might have even been a double cheeseburger for $1, honestly. Yeah, when I was a student, that was me. It looks relaxing and frustrating at the same time. I wouldn't say it's frustrating, dude. It's yeah, maybe it's time consuming, but it's also very rewarding, right? Like the way I looked at, like, so you know, Nasser, I used to play a lot of video games, MMOs, World of Warcraft, stuff like that. And the way I always sort of look at it when I started doing Warhammer back again after having a break from the hobby was like, see, if you play World of Warcraft a lot, and you've got all these achievements, and you've got all these like accolades inside the game, when you switch the game off, you've literally got nothing to show for it, right? Whereas in like Warhammer, if I walk in my room, I have like really nice display cabinets with all the time and effort that I painted, and they all look super cool. And if I wanted to, I could throw all these guys on eBay and I could probably make more money than I spent on them, right? Because painted Warhammer models sell for probably double. You know, like if models are painted to good standard, they sell for like double their RRP. So it's like I could get all my money back out of this hobby if you wanted to. And I've got something physical to show for it. And don't get me wrong, like if you enjoy video games, and hell, I still enjoy video games, right? But like there is nothing tangible to show for the hundreds, if not thousands of hours, I guess, you spend in the video. I mean, I'm pretty good at StarCraft, but that doesn't really count for anything in life, right? I mean, not as good as you at StarCraft, Nasser, but I'm pretty good. God, it's been like 10 years since we've had a game of StarCraft, isn't it? It's $1.39 now for the dollar menu. Has it only gone up 39? That's actually less than I thought. I assumed that there was no dollar menu anymore. I assumed it would be like $2. I nearly fell for Warcraft again this winter. I'm glad I bailed out. Do you know what I'm actually interested in, Marius, is that Dune game. It's like a survival game on Arrakis, I guess. I don't really know too much more about it. But it's like a survival game on Arrakis. And I liked, like, the Dune novel. I liked the 1980s movie. I mean, not many people liked the 1980s movie, but I did. And then I really liked the reboot movies, whatever they call them. So there's like a survival Dune game coming out in June. And I'm like, I'm interested. I don't know anything about it, but I'm super interested in it because I like the universe. The new movies for Dune have been pretty cool, right? Also, all of our dollar stores sell stuff for more than $1 now. Ours are exactly the same. All of our dollar stores now sell stuff up to like $9.99. So it's a complete lie. I don't even know why. Like, we've got one called Poundland. It's a complete lie. There's nothing in... I mean, maybe you can get like a bottle of Diet Coke or something in there for £1, but anything of substance in that store is no longer £1, so why is it still called Poundland? I came very close. Have I read the books? Yeah, I mean, I actually started the very first book again recently, like in the last 6 months. I must have got like 10 chapters in, and then I haven't read it for like 2 months. Do you know what? The original Dune book is quite hard going, right? Because like the whole book is like it's like it's not even from the main character's perspective. It's from the perspective of like the Bene Gesserits telling the history. So it's a little bit weird. But yeah, I have read the original Doom book. Like, I haven't read. I know that there's like 15 in the series now. I must admit, I haven't read all the different 15 in the series, but I was planning on reading the original one again because I did enjoy that. Dragon Shinobi, nice to see you. I mean the first Dune book. Do you know what, the new Dune movies were actually pretty good, because it does feel like every time they make every time they take a book and make it into a movie, usually the movie is worse, right? Because usually in the book, your imagination fills in much more. Like, you don't think of it. Like, you would think like a book is just 200 pages, give or take, and it's much less, like, you know, it's much less visually exciting than a movie. But it actually, like, your imagination fills in so much. So it's a bit of a weird one that, like, Lord of the Rings is possibly one of the big exceptions, right? Where like the movie is actually really good. Because normally when they take a book and make it into a movie, the movie's never going to be as good as the book. And the thing is, you probably read the book first, right? So like in your mind, you have decided what things are going to happen based on like, oh, that's my favorite book. So then in the movie, when they make the movie and they don't include Tom Bombadil or whatever, you're like raging, right? Lord of the Rings was the best movie conversion. Yeah, but even Lord of the Rings missed like you remember the bit in the book when I guess Frodo has been webbed by Shelob. There's like a whole section in the book where like Sam actually puts on the ring, right? And like sneaks around invisible. I mean, it's like 20 some years since I've read Lord of the Rings. But like, you know, like when they take the book to the silver screen, they always lose bits, or they have to lose bits because of like budget constraints and time constraints and stuff like that, right? For Dune, I like the first movie better than the first half of the book, but the second movie much less than the second half of the book. That's why I went back to the book, because I haven't read the book in like 20 years, and I really enjoyed the new Dune movie. I think they're making the third one, right? Which will be based on... Is that like based on the next book? I don't really know. Evening, Alex. How you doing? When the Lord of the Rings films came out, fans of the book really weren't fans. Oh, right, you mean they weren't fans of the movie? No, maybe. I don't know, man. I was a fan of the book, and I was also a fan of the film. But yeah, I mean, there was differences to say the least, right? And then, I mean, they cut out the epilogue of the, you know, like that was like 100 pages at the end where they just cut for the movies. So yeah, I mean, it's I don't even know. Sorry, how did we get onto movies getting converted into books? That's the beauty of my streams, right? You never know what the fuck we're gonna talk about. Some random stuff. Thanks for hanging out and making this all possible. So if they ever decided to take like the Blood Angels books and try and convert them into a movie, you need to go in with like super low expectations, because your favorite chapter of like Louis Dante growing up isn't going to even be in the movie because they've had to cut it for time constraints. You know what I'm saying? It's harsh but true. Even Kevin. I like the Angels of Death series. Do you know what? I liked the Angels of Death series as well. I didn't quite finish it, but what was the? They did a second series, right? I can't remember. It was a prequel series. I guess it was on Warhammer Plus. Was it good? Did you guys like it? I unsubscribed after Warhammer Plus at the end of the first year because I honestly wasn't using it. I know some people have kept their subscription all the way through. I guess because I'm like a mono army player that only really cares about one faction quite passionately, it didn't really have the value I was looking for, I guess. I really need to read Dante. Oh my goodness, you haven't read Dante? Who would play Dante in the movie? I don't know. You right? Come on then, chat. Help me out. Who would play? Who do you want? Who do you want to play Dante in the movie? Because there's like, if we're talking about the Dante book, there's like two versions. Arnie, get out here. Arnold Schwarzenegger. You can't be serious, man. I mean, I am the biggest Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. I love so many of his movies. I like so much of what he's done. I love his attitude or whatnot. But no, Arnold would not work as Dante. He's old enough. I guess he's old enough. When I have been reading the Dante books, I never imagined him with an Austrian accent. Because Arnold still has like a crazy Austrian accent. I'm something of a Primarch myself. There you go. You could play him. Hey, I mean, Henry Cavill has been working on that movie now for a while, right? If they want to kill off Dante, Sean Bean is the logical choice. Yeah, I mean, 20 years ago, maybe Sean Bean, but I think he's a bit old now. I mean, he was... How many... do you know what I was going to say? How many years ago was Game of Thrones, the first season? Because he was only really in the first... It must be like... God... What year did the first Game of Thrones season come out? Gerard Butler, do you know what? Okay, yeah, that's the best suggestion we've had. I mean, he is getting old as well. I mean, he's probably like mid-50s now, but I'm just thinking of him more in like his 300 days. You know? This is ball! Right? That would work. Dante is 1,000 years old. Yeah, but in the book Dante, a lot of it is done when he's a much younger man, and then it jumped. Can we stop making you feel old? What, by saying Dante's 1,000 years old? That's making you feel old? How old are you? I'm pretty sure we're all... I'm getting to be an old man in a bit myself, I think. I was going to say, I'll be 42 this year. Time marches relentlessly onwards is what's happening. I don't even know that many young actors anymore. Yeah, me neither. When I go to like buy a movie, like I'm much more like, I think I just enjoy old movies more than new ones, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm excited about like Thunderbolts. I think that'll be cool. But yeah, I like old movies a lot. I noticed that they just released Kill Bill on 4K. And I have one other... do you know what, I lie. I've got 2 other Quentin Tarantino movies on 4K. I've got Jackie Brown and I've got Inglourious Bastards. And those movies are cracking in 4K. So like, if I was going to go and get a movie, I feel like I would go get like an old Tarantino movie in 4K rather than like buy something new. Does that make sense? Even though I've seen those old ones. Star Wars Galaxies was 27 years ago. That's crazy, man. I still have the poster that came with that game, you know that? The greatest adventure ever told, yours. I like Star Wars Galaxies. Tom Selleck, full Dante. Did anyone watch the first few episodes of Andor yet? That new, because that's actually something modern that I really liked. I liked season 1 of Andor. I haven't started season 2 yet. I think it maybe only came out like yesterday. But I did really like season 1 of Andor. It's like the Rogue One prequel or whatever we're calling it. Rogue One was my favourite Disney Star Wars movie by like a long, long way. I've tuned out Star Wars lately. Have you heard about the XCOM Star Wars game? I saw a trailer, but I kind of hate, and this is probably just because I'm old now, I hate how video games show you the super cool CGI trailer and you don't know anything about the game. Like, I just want to see the game. Like, I don't care about your big budget CGI trailer. I just want to see the gameplay and see if I'm interested in that way. And I think that's what their trailer for the Star Wars game was, right? Like, this is super cool CGI, but I was like, I don't care about this. I care about seeing the gameplay. And then there was a panel from like Star Wars Celebration, because that was like 2 days ago, and in the panel they were just sat talking about it. I started watching the panel and it was like, because I thought that I was going to get to see some gameplay in the panel, but after watching the panel for like 10 minutes and realizing like, oh, are we not getting gameplay in the panel either? So I just like spun through it and was like, alright, there's no gameplay in the panel either. So I'll check it out when they put gameplay trailer, like when there's actual gameplay to look at, then I'm interested. For now, if it's just a CGI trailer, then I'm not really interested, because I don't know what I'm getting. Is that weird? Some of you agree with me. Game trailers need to come back, says Foz. Yeah, I mean, I think like for me, a game trailer needs to show the game. Like, anyone can just pay someone else to make some really cool CGI, but like, you know, and they always have that like disclaimer. It's like, you know, may feature scenes not seen in the game. Well, why are you showing me the scenes not seen in the game? I want to see the game. The game's in the trailer for like 6 seconds at the end or something, right? Like, I feel like it's a 2-minute trailer and there's sub 10 seconds of gameplay, and there's not enough of it to actually make any meaningful conclusion. Alright, Robert makes a good point that sometimes the CGI trailers can be hype. Yeah, I mean, I get that. But I guess I need to see both. I need to get some gameplay. Like, show me a cool CGI trailer, sure, but also make sure there's some cool gameplay that I can see. Yeah, Diablo 2 is still a big favorite for me as well. I was really disappointed. I'm wearing a Diablo 4 hoodie, but I was really disappointed with Diablo 4. It's weird how that works. It's like maybe it's just a thing where like I perceive old games as better and I perceive old movies as better. I don't know why. Just do. I think Diablo 2 is like the GOAT when it comes to action RPGs. Because they are? Yeah, maybe they are, Marius. I kind of do wish that we get a new Dawn of War game though, like with all the, you know, all the bells and whistles of Dawn of War 1. Just like those old games with all the base building and stuff, I think that's sort of the best part of it, maybe. So who's pre-ordering the Death Guard stuff this weekend? Anyone? It's Death Guard and World Eaters this weekend, right? Did I prefer 1 or 2? What, for Diablo? 2 probably. 1 was fine, but I mean 1's also very, very old now. At the time, 1 was great though, right? Like I played 1 on Battle.net whenever it first came out, like 94, 95. Back when it was like 28k modem. Probably. I actually think I had a 33k modem. So yeah, I mean I played I also played Hardcore Diablo 2 on a modem. And like at some point somebody called my house and I just disconnected and my hardcore character died. That was the thing. I can't imagine playing hardcore now on them. How does Colin's excited about the new releases? He thinks that Death Guard are going to be like overpowered. Like he's convinced, like he was talking about it like with so much confidence that like Death Guard are going to be the big cheese, or they're going to be amazing, that I was like, all right, so when are you actually going to win a tournament then, Colin? And then he was like, I don't know if he actually said anything after that, but I was like, if you're hyping them up so much, like, are you going to actually win an event with them then? Like if they're as good enough, if they're as good as you're making them out, you should be able to win something, right? Playing with 300 latency, yeah. Do you know that there's a great video online about the developers of Counter-Strike, where they were like saying that everybody was complaining about the lag in Counter-Strike, right? Like when it first came out and everybody was on modems. And the lead developer in Counter-Strike just basically said, like, for the next patch, whatever player's ping is, right? Like, say you had 300 ping, just on the score screen, just take 50 off of it. So like if you had 300 ping, just tell people that their ping's 250. Even though it's a complete barefaced lie, right? Their ping is still 300. We're just showing them on it as like 250. And they said they put it's like a GDC video or like a TED Talk video. I can't remember. And if you watch the video, the developer said after they put that update live, the whole community was like, "Oh my god, what have you done? That's amazing!" And it's like they actually hadn't done anything except lied about people's pings and told them it was 50 less than it was. But like, I guess the perception of your ping being lower or whatever had like the whole community super excited, and they thought it was the best update ever. It's actually really interesting. It's sort of like a real psychological thing with like, alright, so we can just lie to everybody that they have better ping, but because that ping number is so truthful, they just believe it and they feel happy or something. Placebos do wonders, yeah, exactly. Crazy. Pretty ballsy though to just be like, right, we can't fix the ping, so let's just tell everybody it's 50 less than it is. Well, that was quite kind of funny. Does anything beat Unreal Tournament or Counter-Strike? Oh, do you know what? I have good memories of Unreal Tournament and Counter-Strike because we used to play them at LAN parties. And like, I used to like LAN parties, and I haven't been to a LAN party in like 20-something years, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, I think we've all got fond memories of those games because we probably played them at LAN parties when we were growing up, right? Does Colin ever beat me? Yeah, occasionally. I think he might have actually beat me 2 out of the last 3 times we played or something. Like, it was funny, I think we played 3 games in a row, Kevin, and I think he won by 1 point, I won by 1 point, and then he won by 1 point again. And then he might have even beat me by 1 point 2 weeks in a row. I think that was just when I transitioned to Angelic and Herter, so I was still learning them. Oh, Dawn of War 1 or 2. I actually never played Dawn of War 2 because I liked the first one that had base building. At the time when Dawn of War 2 came out, I was living with the guy that's been on my channel a couple of times, Kev. We were like flatmates, and he was playing Dawn of War 2, and like, so I saw him play it and was like, oh, there's no base building? And I think probably after watching him play it for like 10 minutes and realizing there was no base building, that was enough to just be like, well, I'm not going to buy it. Because I like base building. Like an RTS for me probably needs base building. Like, isn't that half the fun, building the base? Like if you just get units. Because I think in Dawn of War 2, right? You're just controlling control points, and how do you even get units? Oh, I think, do you know what? I think I have played it. You by holding the control points, you get money, and you can summon some more units or something like that, right? But I feel like it's better with base building. Is it even an RTS if there's no base building? I mean, technically it's a real-time strategy game. If there's no... It can be, I guess. I'm sure there's probably some good RTSs that have no base building, right? Like, I'm sure that's a thing. Just I don't know if I felt like that's necessarily... Like, after playing Dawn of War 1, I don't know if I necessarily felt that was what I wanted in Dawn of War 2. I don't know. I'm a huge fan of Warcraft 3 actually. I loved Warcraft 3 because I felt like the heroes in the multiplayer. So in Warcraft 3 you've got base building, heroes that level up, and you've got like unit training, and you've got camps on the map that you have to clear. Like Warcraft 3 for me is probably my favorite RTS. I prefer it to like StarCraft. But I think Warcraft 3 is such a weird one, right? Because in a way I think it's kind of nichey. But for me, it's the one that's got the most longevity, because like I can always play Warcraft 3 because there's always different gameplay because of the heroes and stuff. But yeah, it does seem like nichey or something. 600G says, I have the Death Company box. I plan on getting a combat patrol when I'm done painting what I have. I don't know what I'll get next. Get Dante. Get Infiltrators. Get Impulsors. Get Company Heroes. All those things will complement your combat patrol pretty nicely. You're probably worth building 5 of the Death Company guys that you've got as regular Assault Intercessors with jump packs as well, by the way. Because they are very, very handy to have. Oh, Outriders as well. Outriders are very handy to have too. Get Blade Guard because they look cool? Yeah, they do look cool. Dawn of War 2 still has an active player scene. Wow, I didn't know that. That must be like a 20-year-old game, right? I often see it in the Steam sale and think like, should I pick this up? Excuse me. Commodore, thanks for hanging out. You have a good night. Oh yeah, Sanguinor is a good pickup as well, yeah? Blade Guard is like HQ, so much detail. I really enjoyed painting the Blade Guard though. I think that if you do white on their storm shields, they can look super like standing out. Yeah, at some point I'm probably gonna. Like I've got like I think 10 Blade Guard. I think I'm gonna get more. Company Heroes or Blade Guard? At the moment, I'm preferring the Company Heroes, but like in previous editions, I was definitely preferring Blade Guard. And I mean, Blade Guard are cheaper now. Like, I just always seem like my Company Heroes do more for me than the Blade Guard. But yeah, I think most people probably prefer Blade Guard, but maybe I'm weird. I'm weirdly in love with Company Heroes. But I genuinely think they're pretty useful. Yeah, I did all my Blade Guard gold because I figured they're supposed to be in first company, and if they're first company, they're like veterans. So you could do them with gold helmets, but I just did them with gold armor because I figured like Blade Guard are like in the Blood Angels, the Blade Guard are like one step away. Their next step is joining the Sangre Guard, so fuck it, they're in gold armor, right? Gold armor, white shields. Have I tried Blade Guard in Angelic Host? I don't play Angelic Host. I play Angelic Inheritors. I don't think Angelic Host is very good. I don't know if that's what you meant, Linus. But yeah. Have I played Blade Guard in Angelic Inheritors? Yes, I have. I think it's good. I think they're good. But yeah, no, I don't play in Angelic Host, I'm afraid. Can you show one of the blade guard? Yeah, sure do. The first 4 drawers I opened, they're not in there. I think what had happened was when I came to paint this guy, or paint the squad of blade guard, I just done like I just finished like, I think I'd done like 10 assault intercessors, and then I think I'd done like another 10 terminators or something. I was like, God, I just don't want to paint another unit that's red right now, because I've just done like 20 guys in red. So I mean, it was possibly just, I don't want to do anyone more red. But since I've done them, I actually really like them in gold. Antonius, my paint scheme is just about the inverse. Oh right, you've done like the red armor and the gold heads. I mean, you could totally do that, right? Like that would totally work as well, I think. I like how I'm justifying your paint job. I'm like, yeah, you could do that. I guess the blade guard come with options. Who was it that said they were going to paint them Death Company? I think that would work as well, honestly. I think that would be cool too. Death Company blade guard? Yeah, why not? The white shields are nice though, right? Like, I must have done so many coats of white on that to get it to look good, but I feel like it was worth it. I think the white shields were like, I think I probably took some inspiration from like Black Templars on that or something. You should have cut the side tubing off. What, on this Terminator? I mean, I don't know if there would have been anything underneath that side tubing, man. It might have just looked like a bit of a hack job, right? I don't really do green stuff. I know some people are super good at sculpting stuff in green stuff. That's not me. You made yours into a chaplain, it looked fine. Oh well, I'll know for next time. I actually don't know if I'm going to build the other librarian, because I already have two, I already got two Blood Angels librarians, right? Who are like both built and painted. So it's like, you know, I got these two with the Leviathan box. So I mean, I obviously converted this one. I might just convert the other one. I can't imagine myself ever playing more than 2 Blood Angels librarians and Terminator armor in a list. So the other one can maybe get converted as well, and that one maybe we can cut the side tubing off, I guess. This is my company ancient with the banner, yeah. Because if I'm correct in his rules, he has a bolt rifle, right? So I'm basically using the Stormbolter as a bolt rifle. I mean, I think a Stormbolter is an adequate replacement for a bolt rifle, right? In terms of like WYSIWYG. Not that I overly care about WYSIWYG these days, but if I did. I feel like that's an adequate substitute, right? Not a Terminator Ancient? No, I've got a few Terminator Ancients. I mean, I don't run Terminators at the moment, so no, this guy is a company hero 100%. My company hero squad is all jerry-rigged anyway. It's like 2 of them are actually heavy intercessors, just because they got the right weapon options, and they're on the right size bases as well. So it's like 2 heavy intercessors, this guy, and then the actual company champion that was like a standalone model that they sold. I think near the start of 10th edition they sold a standalone company champion, so he is the guy. Yeah, I think the trick with buying a lot of models is to not buy too much where you've got too much of a pile of shame and you feel like you will never get it finished. It's easy to go a bit crazy and buy too many items. Kedma, good evening. How are you, dude? Tell me, like, so we were having I think it was last Wednesday night, or no, it was on Saturday night, was it? Kedma said he'd never listened to Master of Puppets by Metallica. Have you listened to it yet, dude? Did you do it? Did you take the plunge? You weren't ready. Oh my goodness. You tried to listen to it. What were you not ready for? Battery. How it starts. Toot 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 battery. Lashing through the action. Let me think. Lashing through the action, giving a reaction, cannot stop the battery. It was a little too intense. Yeah. Pounding out aggression, turns into obsession, cannot kill the battery. Battery. I can imagine never having listened to that and going into it not knowing what to expect. I love Battery, man. For a while there, I think Battery might have been one of my favourite Metallica songs. It's just like right in your face, you know? I didn't realise it was speed metal. I don't know if Metallica is really speed metal. I mean, their old stuff is pretty high tempo, but I wouldn't necessarily say they were speed metal. There's a few songs on that album that are pretty slow, like oh dude, it's been a long ass time. Like the last time I just sat down and like listened to the entirety of Master of Puppets start to finish, like I don't know if I can tell you when that was. I mean, the thing that should not be is definitely a slow song. Welcome Home Sanitarium is a slow song. Or Orion isn't massively fast either, so like half the album is not crazy fast. Battery is fast, sure. I grew up listening to 50 Cent and Lil Wayne. My friends also, you do, like, you need to listen to the entire album in a oneer. It's such a good album, right? Like, so that was the second Metallica album I ever got. So I must have got that album in, like, I don't know, I mean, I didn't get it when it came out. I got it in the early 90s. And I remember listening to that as my second Metallica album, and I was honestly blown away, because the first album I got was the Black Album. The Black Album's like the commercial album that they did like 5 albums in or something like that. And I mean, it's a pretty good album, but I mean, I guess it's also the commercial album. And I remember listening to Master of Puppets after having, like, I guess, bought the Black Album a month before or something, and I must have listened to the Black Album like 10 times, got Master of Puppets, and I remember listening to Master of Puppets for the very first time. You know, like, I had no knowledge of it. I never heard any song on it. I just bought it because I was like, oh, that's Metallica. I like Metallica. I had no knowledge which album to choose either. I just chose it, right? Like, I was in the store, there was like 5 Metallica albums, I just chose that one. I guess it called to me or something. And I remember getting home and listening to it, and I was like 2 songs in, so like we've heard Battery and we've heard Master of Puppets, and I remember thinking to myself, I was like, oh my god, this is better than the other album. And like the other album had like redefined my music taste, because up until that I'd been listening to shit like Green Day or Offspring, or what else did I listen to back then? Trying to think what other albums I had in the early 90s. Fuck knows, actually. I can't remember. There must have been other albums, but like, yeah, Green Day and Offspring were definitely in the forefront of my brain at that point. Is this considered heavy metal? Yes. Yes, I would say it's considered heavy metal. I guess someone said it was thrash metal, but I would say it's what we would class as heavy metal, I think. That album is a bit thrashy, but it also has some slow songs. So yeah, I would say that's a heavy metal album. But yeah, I remember listening to it and thinking like, holy shit, how is this better than the other album that I just bought? Because the other album had like blown my socks off. I couldn't actually believe it. I was like flabbergasted. And then like after that, my next mission was like, I need more Metallica albums. I just need all of them. And then I guess I went on like a spending spree to get every Metallica album that there was, and that's when they became my favourite band. Because they fucking blew me away with that one. I've just played a guy who played Gilliman and Calgar painted as Blood Angels. Now I want to get the characters and Primarchs of the other chapters, paint them red, and try all the different detachments. I mean, I'm doing the exact same thing myself, Bryce. In last edition, I bought Helbrecht for the Black Templars, and I converted him with some Blood Angels parts. So it's like he is the Helbrecht model, but he does have like Blood Angels colors and Blood Angels shoulder pads and Blood Angels. I think I might have given him like a Sangre Guard head, honestly. And then I was building a Dreadnought up as Gilliman, so it's a cool idea. You just paint the Blood Angels, gives you options. Just joining, is this converting Terminator Librarian into an Ancient? Yeah, I'm converting the Terminator Librarian into a Company Ancient, actually. So he's part of my Company Hero Squad. Technically he could be a Terminator Ancient. I think a Terminator Ancient can have a Thunderhammer or a Lightning Claw. Maybe I'm wrong, it's been a while since I ran a Terminator Ancient. But yeah, this guy is... he's being played as part of my Company Hero Squad as a Company Ancient. A Company Ancient has a bolter, or a bolt rifle, which I'm using the Stormbolter as. And I think that's his only weapon. I have only listened to my fellow Black Templar players crying as we have the lowest win rate and consecutive nerfs. Yeah, why are Black Templars still getting nerfed when they have a 30% win rate? Like, what is going on with that? I don't really understand what's happened to Black Templars. Someone must have been winning tournaments or something with them. Because you don't get nerfed unless typically you are in a really good spot, right? So like, who is winning shit? I will be reporting you to the Inquisition. How dare you? You know, I was making a Dreadnought, and I was calling him Roboto Gillinaut. So basically, like robot Gilliman, because my robot Gillinaut had the same. I'd given him the right weapon options. I'd given him the sword and the fist and the bolter. And I was like halfway through painting them, but then they stopped. Then they stopped letting you use Gillinot. Oh, he's got a 5 attack close combat weapon. Yeah, well, he hits them with the flag 5 times for strength 4 and no AP. Yeah, I forgot about that. But I mean, it is 5 attacks, so it occasionally does chip off a wound. I mean, if you were hit with a Blood Angel's banner, you'd probably take a wound, right? It's a pretty big banner. The one thing we don't really have is advance and charge. Yeah, I don't. Do you watch YouTube battle reports? Sometimes. I was going to say I've got a few channels. I used to watch Tabletop Titans a lot. They're probably one of my favorites. They're the guys that are like based in Vegas, the American channel. They actually gave me a shout out a couple of times. I mean, I was watching them before they gave me a shout out, but it was really cool that they did. I also occasionally watch Tabletop Tactics. I like the quality of like the streams are very professional, like high production value. I like that as well. I also have watched Play on Tabletop. They do like Warhammer 40k in 40 minutes, which is nice. Because I'm a father and I don't usually get a lot of time, so a battle report in 40 minutes is ideal. And then occasionally, like I watch Liam Dempsey occasionally, I've watched Winters occasionally. Sometimes I'll maybe tune in Vanguard Tactics if they're doing a Blood Angels battle report. So there's like 6 or 7 channels that like I have watched battle reports in the past. I must admit though, like these last few months, like my kids are growing up, and on the weekends now, like maybe 6 months ago, or maybe even a year ago, I was watching more YouTube content, but now like my kids are at an age where like I don't want to let them have screen time all the time. So on the weekends I try and do stuff with my kids, which usually eats up a lot of my free time, and then like I'm sure other people who are fathers will say this as well, like you kind of have to give up what you want to do for your kids. So yeah, I mean, I haven't watched nearly as much battle reports in the last year, since both my kids have been, you know, wanting more of me than I did before that. I mean, it's not that I don't like them. I'll probably get back to them. But that's just the reality of like where I am in life, I guess, with the kids. Lord Joe says, working on my final list for my second ever tournament this Sunday and first ever as a Blood Angels player. Anyone has advice? You mean advice on the list, Joe, or advice in general? Yeah, so I mean, my battle reports are just live games, right? Like I don't heavily edit them or anything like that, and the reason I don't is literally time, right? Like those guys that, like, I guess Tabletop Tactics, Tabletop Titans, these sort of channels that do like the heavily edited battle reports, I would love to do that. It just, like, a heavily edited battle report, well, you got to film the whole battle first, which probably takes like 4 hours. And then you probably need to spend 2 or 3 hours editing at least. And then if they're putting in special effects and scoreboards and all this sort of stuff, you're talking like 10-20 hours. And so if you enjoy their content, like, by all means, like, watch it and enjoy it, and you know, I'll watch it and enjoy it as well in the future. Just it's crazy. If I had another body, someone else to help me, I could do more, but I do what I can, right? Don't worry, they'll grow up soon and not want to hang out. Yeah, exactly. The other night, Michael woke up when I was just, like, I think I was just maybe, like, I'd finished filming whatever I was doing for the evening or whatnot, so I was just sitting for like half an hour, just not really doing anything, just chilling and just watching trash videos, or just, you know, like just going through my YouTube feed, watching here and that. Nothing too important. My son woke up and, like, I ran through to the room because I heard him waking up crying, And like I grabbed him and gave him a cuddle. And he was just like, "Oh, Dad." And it was like the nicest little "oh, Dad" ever. And he gave me a cuddle and went straight back to sleep. And then I was trapped in bed with him for like 10 minutes while I waited for him to fully go back to sleep so I could extract myself. But like, I get what you're saying, right? Like you have to try and be present with your kids like that. Have I considered hiring an editor? I don't think my channel's too niche to I think you need like someone was asking the other week, I think it might have even been VT, he was like I'd have to have 100,000 subscribers to be anywhere, I think, where you could hire an editor. I mean, like, Valrak's got 250,000 subscribers. Pretty sure he doesn't have an editor, right? He does it all himself, or does he have an editor? I mean, Auspex is probably up at, like, a couple of 100,000 subscribers now. I'm pretty sure, like, does he have an editor, or... I was going to say, his editing is pretty basic, right? It's like a white background with stuff on top of it. I feel like he doesn't pay for an editor either, so... I don't know if Warhammer channels are necessarily big enough to get editors. I am a much more ruthless father. Dude, I can be ruthless. It's hard. Like, being a father is like it's like the most thankless thing to do, but it's also the best thing. It's hard. I don't know, man. I know there's times where I'm just like, I would just like to have a conversation without you guys interrupting me all the time, or I would just like to watch this thing on television for half an hour without you guys interrupting me on the, you know. I get it, it's hard, man. Auspex doesn't sleep. Maybe. But I really don't think he has an editor either, right? My kid basically gets whatever he wants. I'm a pushover. Well, I try and limit them on like screen time and stuff like that. But that's the, like, I could literally give them screen time all day, and then I could have peace up here to do father things, to do whatever the hell I wanted. But I don't want them to have screen time all day. So on the weekend, I like take them out and do like biking or whatever it is, so that they aren't just sat in front of a screen all day. But like, screen time is like the lowest common denominator. It's like, I can't be bothered, so I'll do the screen time. And I think every parent at some point will do that, right? Because it's like, I would just like, well, for example, like, it's probably only recently we've started like closing the door when we go do number 2 in our house, right? Because like, when the kids are super young, you kind of have the door open when you're doing a number 2 in the bathroom, because you're thinking to yourself, like, if a kid falls over or falls down the stairs or something, you need to hear about it and be ready to react to it. So it's only in the last sort of 6 months or something that we might actually close. We don't lock the door, we just close the door when we're doing number 2. And I'm sure in the last couple of weeks I've been like, guys, could I please just do a number 2 without you coming to bother me in the toilet, right? Like, the door is closed for a reason, because Daddy would just like 10 minutes with no one coming to talk to him, to ask for something, to do a number 2, right? And that's the reality of being a parent, that you can't even take a shit in peace. And we chose this, right? Yeah, they barge in, exactly. Like, this is the life you have chosen. So yeah, within the next 6 months, I'm going to start locking the toilet again when I go to the toilet. That's like my rebel. I'm locking you bastards out. I will toilet in peace. You're old enough to take care of yourself now, kids. Auspex puts in an insane amount of videos. I mean, I think he's doing videos. This is great birth control. Yeah, probably. Yeah, you were thinking about having kids, you're like, oh my god, I can't even take a shit with... I'm not even allowed to close the door and take a shit? Right, fuck that, we're not having kids anymore. It's lovely, I'm sure it's lovely. Imagine if you had somebody in your life that still wants to give you a cuddle while you're doing number 2. There you go. Do number 2 at work, peace. I remember that quote that was like, what was it? Boss makes dollar, I make dime. That's why I poop on company time. But no, I got Michael a new Arsenal strip this week, and he was super delighted with it. So, it's worth having kids, man. It just you gotta give up a lot of your time when they're super young, which is where we are. Stream. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the stream's been a weird one tonight. I was going to say thanks for always being here, guys. Thanks for hanging out. There should be a battle report next Wednesday. Assuming Colin's still recovered, from his sickness or whatever. It's fine. I've been needing to get pushed on with a couple of this model in ages. I've been fielding this company Hero Ancient probably for I think I've been fielding them. Do you know what? I've been fielding them since I won the GT last summer. So, I've been fielding this guy for a year at this point, and his paint job is tragic, so it's good to... I mean, it's not good he cancelled, but it's good to get on and get some painting done, right? That's why I advise, if you're painting, is get 3 colours on your models as quickly as possible and get them based as quickly as possible so you can actually use them in tournaments or use them in games and then decide which models you want to focus on once you know what's competitive. Seal Pilled, hey man, first kid in September. I'm 25. Any advice? Oh man. Parental advice with a first kid, man. That's a good question. Oh, yeah, use your free time now before September. No, I mean, kids are the best thing you'll ever do. I think they're the best thing. They're the hardest thing you'll do, but they're the best thing you'll ever do. Try and always have patience. I think the thing with the first kid is that you don't know what you're doing a lot of the time, right? You go to the hospital, you have the baby, and then eventually they just send you home when the baby's 2 or 3 days old, and you're at home now with a baby, and you've got no clue what you're doing because no one's told you dick. So and here's the I think that the thing that I found was it's almost you're worried or you're scared because you don't know what you're doing, but as long as you're being responsible and you think smart, it's some sort of parenthood. I don't know, is evolution or whatever it's called. Something is going to kick in and you're going to know what to do, right? Don't co-sleep. Me and my wife tried to do shifts when we had our first kid. So when the baby is sleeping, even if the baby goes to sleep at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, one of you should go to sleep right then. So that nobody is the scene that always reminds me is in Aliens when they're they've been up for days and they've got to survive the 14 days and he's oh, we're all in strung out shape, man. That's what it's like. So because kids don't know day from night, right? So if your kid goes to sleep at 3 p.m. in the afternoon and sleeps till 9 p.m. at night, then that means they're going to be awake for 6 hours during the night. And if the two of you go like, oh cool, the baby's sleeping now, let's watch a movie, let's do some stuff, whatever we're going to do, then you're going to have a bad fucking night because the kid's now going to be awake for the entire night. So like, when the baby sleeps, somebody in your house needs to sleep with them, so that when the baby is awake at 3 a.m. in the morning, you aren't in strung out shape, right? Because that's like the worst thing ever, is like when you know, you're already tired, you're having, like, I don't know how quickly you go back to work, but I think I had to go back to work both times within like a month. I think I had 2 weeks maternity pay and then I had 2 weeks holiday pay, and then you're back at work. So you know you're going to have a day at work, or 10 hours, 8 hours, whatever you do at work. So if you're good, you know, like, so it's like if the baby sleeps, somebody needs to be asleep, whether you want to or not. Because my wife was the worst for that. Like, I was like, the baby is sleeping, one of us needs to go to sleep. Oh, well, I'm not tired. I was like, yeah, but that's not going to work at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning when the baby's awake, and then I have to get up and go to work at 7, you know? Like, one of us needs to go to sleep now if the baby's asleep. And I think the sooner you learn that, because that's probably the hardest thing to do, at least in our experience it was, it'll make your life like a lot less painful. Feed it and change the diaper. Yeah, before long, like if you know, like, you'll be worried about diapers and shit, and before long none of that stuff will faze you, you know? My kid does that. She's like, Daddy, it's still light outside, why do I have to go to bed? I've poisoned my child with all my anti-government rhetoric and political views. Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like you don't need to poison them. They can just use the internet and poison themselves these days. There's enough crap online for it, isn't there? But no, congratulations, dude. I hope it all goes well for you. If you want to come back after September and ask any questions, I mean, it seems like we've got a lot of fathers in the chat, so we are happy to instill our knowledge on you. I think it's just the not knowing is the difficult thing, because like when you have your second kid, it's not like your second kid gets neglected, but like when you have that first kid, they're so precious and you're so worried about everything, and then with your second kid you're like, oh, you know, like, we've done all this before, it's actually not that difficult. It's just the fact that the first time around you don't know any of the things, right? Hey Lord Commander, what is your method of painting your minis that look the great looking red? Oh, I appreciate that, dude. I like to I was going to say this is probably, so I will spray my minis white. I might use Games Workshop white, Skull white, was it called? Corax white. But at the moment I'm actually using the cheaper off-brand, what's it called? So I'm spraying Colorforge matte white, and then I'm letting that dry, and then I'm spraying Colorforge sanguine red. So I'm actually giving it 2 coats of spray paint, a white, then a red, and then I'm doing 2 coats of thin coats of Evil Sun Scarlet. So that's where we're at. I mean, I think this guy probably has 2 coats of Evil Sun Scarlet, in the way that will look very bright, almost too bright, right? Thanks so much for the $4.99, Carson, I do appreciate it. So that at that point they are too bright. So then this guy is the next stage on, where we do Agrax Earthshade. So after the 4 coats, which is possibly why they look so bright, I then wash the whole model with Agrax Earthshade, recess wash it, right? Like you can see all around here the recess wash, I guess. You can see some of the washers like pooled on the knee here, and it's made a little bit of dirt. So once I've done the recess wash with the Agrax Earthshade, I then jump back to Evil Sun Scarlet and we'll tidy up all for anywhere the washes run that I don't like that knee pad, for example. I'll go back and tidy up with Evil Sun Scarlet. And I guess what the finished model might look like. Might be something like this. So it's very much like a battle ready type paint job, right? Like I'm not, you can see in here how there's just like a recess wash, and then I'm not trying to win any tour painting competitions. I'm just trying to get them to look decent. But I mean, I'm a slow painter. I think these guys, like someone was asking how long it takes me to do a guy. It still takes me like 5, 6, 7 hours to do one guy. So maybe you can do it faster. Maybe you could get some dry brushing in there. There's probably a better technique. Oh, Phil coming in with the gifted memberships. Phil, you don't need to do that. I appreciate it, dude. Thank you very much. Did you fix your car, Phil? You better fix your car before you're gifting me memberships. You'll be in trouble. Well, good luck in the move to Norway. I appreciate it. Apparently they're very supportive in Scandinavia for children. Oh, that's good. Good to know. Good luck anyway. Let us know how you get on. Phil, thanks so much for the gifted memberships, dude. I appreciate it. Hello, Jeff. Good evening. Phil, you're always giving gifted memberships, dude. You are a very good friend. Thank you. You got a new car. Even better. There you go. Did you get I was going to say, did you get an insurance? Or did you have to fork out for the new car yourself? In Denmark, you get 3 months paternity leave. Man. In my paternity leave for my second kid, so I was off for 5 weeks, I think, second time round, because I had paternity leave, then I had some holidays, and then it was the Christmas holidays. So for my second kid, I was off work for 5 weeks, like paid leave for 5 weeks. I played so much Assassin's Creed Valhalla, like, so my wife was in hospital with the kid, and I was just at home with the other kid. So like every day, it was just like the kid went to sleep, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. There you go. In the States, you get Zip. Yeah, I mean, different countries do different things. I know that the UK's pretty good for child, whatever you call that, child paternity leave, sorry, excuse me. Brain fart. So yeah, I played like 100 hours of Assassin's Creed Valhalla while my wife was in hospital with my other kid. Just every evening, like visiting her all day in the hospital in the day, putting the other kid to sleep, and then playing Valhalla. A lot of the jobs in the States are now offering paternity. That's good, man. That's I think it's hard to have children. I think more places should offer like good paternity support. I would have liked more than 2 weeks, honestly. In the UK, the women get like, I think the women get like, they can get 9 months paid or something, and then they can get so they can get 9 months, I think, paid. It's maybe not full wages, but like a percentage of their wages, and then they can have 3 more months unpaid. So like my wife took that for her first kid, where she got like 9 months of pay, and then decided not to go back to work. So that's pretty good. So yeah, after washing the Evil Sun Scarlet basically everywhere, I just go back anywhere the the wash is pooled that I don't like and just try and clean it up, and then that's the red. That's all I do. So the only real difficult part is, well, I was going to say there is no difficult part, I guess, but the only real trick to it is to just try and clean up some of the places the wash is pooled a little bit, and that's it. When are you planning to play a game? I was planning on playing tonight, dude, but Colin has the flu, and I don't want the flu. So next Wednesday, we'll play Death Guard next Wednesday. We usually aim for a game every Wednesday. The problem is that my channel is well, it's just me, right? Like, so I have to get my friends, my real life friends, to give up their evenings to play, or there's no game on the channel, and they're pretty good at doing that for me. I do appreciate it. But sometimes, you know, they've got lives too, and they've got kids too, so it doesn't always work out. And a couple of my regular opponents have been like really busy. Like, I used to get Miles on the channel an awful lot. Miles has been really busy lately. I'm sure there's going to be a time when Miles is less busy and he comes on the channel a lot again, but at the moment he's been really busy with work. So next Wednesday should be, you know, we should have a live game next Wednesday. I do like not missing the Wednesday night games. But there's no game tonight, if that's what you're asking. Do I have to push? No, I don't have to push. Just like I said, so Colin has 2 kids, and he's split from his wife. So he, like, some weeks he has the kids. So if he has the kids, he can't play because he's looking after his kids. And then, you know, Andrew's got kids as well. So I mean, they're my main 2 opponents, and I guess because I mean Miles has kids as well, but Miles has been really busy of late. So my 3 opponents, you know, I can usually get somewhere between 2 and 4 games. Like, some months we manage every Wednesday, right? And then other months just, I think it can also be to do with like school holidays or stuff like that. You know, like if it's winter, I can usually get a game every week. Right? Most people are happy to play in the winter, but if there's summer and there's other shit going on, then people are like, you know, doing family stuff, and it can be harder to get a game. And but no, it's not like I'm pulling teeth to get them to come and play. They're usually quite happy to play. They usually want the tournament practice as well, right? I mean, we go to the same tournaments. Andrew and Colin are both coming to the tournament I'm going to in May. I think Andrew's not coming to the one that I'm going to in August, but I think that's just because I think he's on like holiday or something. Because I think he said he was like away the week before or something, so he can't go to the tournament. Daniel says, played Glasshammer in Birmingham, 115 players, and Blood Angels came first with 18 Blade Guard. There you go. When was that? This weekend, Daniel? Or you did this, or you saw someone do it? I did say I thought someone would take 18 Blade Guard now that they're only 80 points. They're pretty good for 80 points, I feel like. I mean, it wasn't you, I only won 1 game. Well, thanks for letting me know. If you have a list to the BCP list, or if you have a list to the army on BCP, I'd love to see it. Not that I own 18 Blade Guard. I can't imagine that many people own 18 Blade Guard, honestly. It would be interesting to see what that list looks like. Were they all in impulsors? Yeah, good question. How many impulsors were in the list? No, just 1? Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, Blade Guard at 80 points for 3 is cheap. Right, I was playing them in a 6 when they were 20 points more expensive for the 6. I mean, I thought they were decent enough, so... Oh, 2 impulsors. But what, only Blade Guard in one of them or something. So what was in the other impulsor? Yeah, if anyone's got the BCP list for that, I'd love to see it. The list was 2 ballistists, 2 scouts, 10 jump intercessors, 2 10-man jump intercessors, 1 5-man jump intercessors, 18 blade guard, 2 impulsors, a range captain, and stern guard. So it's kind of playing a little bit like a bloodless list, right? Like no Sangre guard. And it's just lag to get all the charge bonuses. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Interesting. I mean, so in fact it is a bloodless list though, right? Because there's actually no Blood Angel specific models in the list, right? Who knew? Lag with no Blood Angel stuff is arguably just as good, if not better, than the Blood Angels models. Bit of a sad state of affair for the Blood Angels Codex, isn't it? Yeah, basically. No, Blade Guard with all their attacks at strength 7 on the charge is going to be strong. It's a lot of attacks. A lot of attacks for the cost of the unit, right? Oh, well, I don't know if that many people have 30 Blade Guard to field, but I guess if you've got them, that's a strong squad. BT, thanks for hanging out. Benno's only got 3 Blade Guard. I think I've got like 10. Yeah. Well, jump intercessors are very good as well. They're cheaper in 10s as well, so yeah, it's a real sad shame that like those sort of lists do just as well as Blood Angels, and that the Blood Angels chapter specific stuff is in such an underwhelming spot, I guess. At least that's my takeaway from it, right? I wish the chapter specific stuff was doing better. It's so hard to get my hands on a combi lieutenant. Well, just convert something, dude. Like, can't you just get any, like, surely you can buy a combi weapon online from, like, dude, if you're in the UK and you cannot find a combi weapon, I will literally send you a combi weapon. Like, surely you can just find a combi weapon, eBay it for a couple of bucks, and then just convert any other character with the combi weapon and call him a combi. Like, what does a combi weapon lieutenant have? Like a combi weapon and a knife. Surely you can convert a combi weapon and a knife. Like, that can't be hard. There you go. Someone from the chat will sell you a combi weapon, man. I'm sure you could find something you could convert. Sorry, I've got something that's in my eye or bugging my eye. Use a Phobos dude and kit bash a combi. It's very easy, says Jim. I'm with you, Snicks. I think it's terrible that Games Workshop don't release all these models as individual kits that you could buy at a reasonable price. Suppressors, Judasars, combi weapon lieutenants. I spoke with Manny, and he plays 15 Death Company and prefers them over Sangre Guard. I don't see it, dude. I don't think Death Company have any survivability. That's my problem with them. Like, they just don't have any survivability. It was fine when they did a crap load of damage. I don't think they have the damage anymore. So it's like they don't have the damage and they don't have the survivability. But I mean, you could argue Manny's probably like Manny's won more tournaments than me, so maybe he knows what he's talking about. But I don't rate Death Company at the moment at all. I've tried to play them multiple times. I've done better in every game I've had Sangre Guard. But here's the thing, right? Sometimes these pro players, and I'm not wanting to single out Manny or say man, like, if you don't know who Manny is, he's part of like Glass Hammer Gaming. They're a big YouTube channel as well. Manny's won a lot of tournaments, more than I've ever. He's probably been to more tournaments than I've ever been to as well. But like sometimes the pro players, they get an idea in their head and they stick with it, because Jack Harpster for ages was talking about how good the Sanguiner was, right? He was like, oh, the Sanguiner's amazing, the Sanguiner's amazing. And again, Jack's won LVO, so he's like arguably a better player than I will ever be. And he harped on and on and on about how amazing the Sanguiner was, and then like, if you just waited like 3 months, No Art of War do those tier list videos, he was on the very next tier list. He was like, right, so I've played the Sanguiner for 3 months, and I actually don't think he's an A tier hero because he always underperforms and he doesn't do that much, and now I'm putting him in C or something. So the pro players are not infallible. They can be on a unit that like, sometimes a unit can look great on paper, and then you play it a few times and you're like, actually, I'm not getting a lot of value out of this unit. So like, is it still an A tier unit if I'm struggling to get the value out of it game after game? So it's just something to think about, right? When you take advice from anyone, I guess, on the internet, like even if you take my advice. Like, if you take my advice and I give you advice and you try it 3 or 4 times and you're like, yeah, that just doesn't work for me, or that just doesn't work for the way I'm playing or something, then maybe you should tell me that my advice is bad, or maybe you should just not listen to that piece of advice and be like, yeah, that just doesn't work for me. There's nothing wrong with saying that, right? Bring back 10 Power Fists, damn it. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that was why Death Company were good. Glue a second barrel onto a bolter and bam, combi weapon. Yeah, there you go. Sure, yeah, you can definitely convert a combi weapon without very much hassle, I feel like. That's your mission. Convert a combi weapon. You can do it, we trust you. Your mission, if you choose to accept it. Dun 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 dun. Man, they're making like Mission Impossible 10 now, or I've lost count of how many movies. They've been making those movies for like 20 years at this point. That must be like the biggest movie series ever, right? Mission Impossible and Fast and the Furious. They're like having a fight to see who's going to make the most ridiculous movie in the most ridiculous number of movies. Listen, say Tom Cruise will be dead, and they'll be using AI to replace him, and they'll still be making Mission Impossible movies. Not that Mission Impossible movies are bad per se, but like they are never ending. Like, I don't even know what the story in Mission Impossible is anymore. Like, I don't know if I've known the story for like 5 movies at this point. It's just like, Tom Cruise is jumping out of an airplane. Okay, cool. Tom Cruise is Diatome says, you keep bad-mouthing Death Company Dreadnoughts, but I have great games with it. Well, dude, if you have great games with it, you keep using it. That's kind of what the point I'm trying to make. If you have found a way to make the Death Company Dreadnought work for you, then who the fuck am I to tell you not to do it? You know? I'm just telling you what works for me. they're going to keep going until Tom Cruise has a stroke on the set. It seems like it, doesn't it? Like, I don't even know. Like, they got to movie number 8. That was like Dead Reckoning or something. And they thought to themselves, like, we're on movie number 8 now. Rather than just make movie number 8, we're going to split it into 2 parts. And we're going to make Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Dead Reckoning Part 2. Here's the like, there's been so, like, I've watched movie number 8. And I like Mission Impossible. I could not tell you a single thing that happened in that last movie. Didn't he fight Henry Cavill? Like, they had a fist fight somewhere. And then, like, someone jumped out of a helicopter or something. Like, that's all I remember from the next movie. And I guess, I'm not saying Mission Impossible is bad. Like, I genuinely like the Mission Impossible franchise. I like the premise. I like the old TV show. But I just feel like I have no idea what's happening. He did fight Henry Cavill, you forgot about it. That's what I'm talking about. Like, there's so many movies, I don't even know what happened now. Did Henry Cavill's character die then, or is he still in the next one? Alright, I think I'm ready to do a little bit of washing. I was going to say a little bit more washing on this guy's headpiece, maybe. And then this guy is getting very close to being finished, I think. He's not perfect, but at some point you need to say you're finished and move on, right? And I think I'm getting very close to that with this guy. You couldn't tell me. Yeah, I know I couldn't tell you either, dude. I feel like it was ages ago that I watched that Mission Impossible movie. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it was too long between the movies. I'm gonna be here for like 10 more minutes, guys. My eye's bothering me and it's tired anyway. It's tired. I'm tired. I got work in the morning, so if you got any last Blood Angels questions, now would be the time. I think maybe one more paint session on this guy and he'll be finished. Then we'll get some transfers on, I think. So maybe Saturday night, that'll be the plan. Get some transfers on this guy, get a little bit deeper on the converted company hero. Whew. I think 5-man Death Company with a Jump Chaplain could be okay in lag. So Benno, I don't know if you remember this. Last summer, when I actually won a GT, my GT win was carried by 2 5-man squads of Death Company, both led by a chaplain. They literally carried my GT win. Because here's the thing, with the old rules, that gave you 20 power fists from the squad, re-rolling all hits. And then I gave a power fist to the chaplain, so he also had a power fist. So that squad, for whatever it was, I think they were 140 plus the 75, so I think it was 215 points. I get 25 power fists, re-rolling all hits, at strength 10 with +1 to wound. And I can pay 1 CP and get lethals if I need it. Right? So they literally carried me to the GT win, right? Like, in the game against the Knights, for example, like game 4, like, I think turn 2, they both kill a Knight. Turn 3, they both kill a Knight. You know? Full Infernal Pistols, yeah, correct. They also have 5 Infernal Pistols. I mean, that fucking helped as well, no doubt. And also those that was back when you were re-rolling hits on the Infernal Pistols as well, right? So, 5 Infernal Pistols, then 25 Power Fists, re-rolling all hits. +1 to wound all the time. Oh, and they have 2 CP. They have a fight on death stratagem as well. So in any matchup that wasn't favourable, like Orcs, for example, when they charge me, oh well, if they charge me, I'm just going to fight on death. If I have to deal with any fight first characters, no problem. I'll charge the fight first character. I'll just pay my 2 CP. I'll fight on death. So your fight first unit will wipe me, but it doesn't matter. I'll wipe you right back because, you know, like fighting on death, I'm still getting 25 Power Fists into your face with Strength 10, +1 to wound, rerolling all hits, right? So like that unit carried. I don't want. Yeah, I mean it. I'm not saying I wouldn't have won the GT without it, but that unit was super good, right? At 215 points, and I ran 2 of them. If I remember correctly, my list was those 2 units, 2 units of Jump Intercessors, 2 units of Outriders. I think I had 2 units of Scouts, 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts, a Predator Destructor, and then Dante and 10 Sangre Guard. And that was when you could take 10, you know, so 10 Sangre Guard were arguably much better than the Sangre Guard we have now, because I was rapid ingressing them every game. So if you imagine how strong Sangre Guard at the moment, with like, you get 39 hits from Dante plus the Sangre Guard and lag, in my list in the summer, I would get like 59 hits, because I had 4 more Sangre Guard in the squad. Yeah, I'm only AP2, whereas now I'd be AP3, but 20 more hits at AP2. So 59 damage 2 attacks at AP2 against 39 damage 2 attacks at AP3. Bear in mind, a lot of that time, that extra point of AP is wasted. If the enemies have any invulnerable saves, then that extra point of AP is pretty much wasted, right? So since that tournament, I have tried that. Basically, I'd gone back to, like, because so I won a tournament, and then in the next tournament I obviously didn't win. And like when you go to another tournament with a new list that you've built and you didn't win, the first thing my brain was like, well, hold on a minute, you won a tournament just a few months ago with a different list. Why aren't you trying the things that helped you win the tournament like a few months ago? So I did. I went back and tried a few of the, you know, like I tried that 5-man squad of Sangre Guard led by the chaplain, so they're nice and cheap, but without the Infernal Pistols, and without all those Power Fists, they're just not the same unit anymore, really. And after playing them across a couple of games, you know, like I feel like I gave them a fair try. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not running this unit of 5 Sangre Guard with the chaplain anymore. It isn't good enough anymore for the points I'm paying for it. It's not. The reason it was good before was because it killed lots of stuff. Like, I don't think it had a lot of survivability before. It just killed stuff. And that's why it was good. So now that it doesn't kill the stuff, it's like, I think we can probably agree that 5 Death Company aren't that survivable, right? So if it can't do the killing, and then it's always going to get hit back, then the models are going to start dying and you're going to struggle to get value out of it. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. Yeah, and bear in mind, in the summer when I was running that list as well, my Sangre Guard of 10 also had 10 Infernal Pistols. And because they're led by Dante, those Infernal Pistols hit on 2s. So as well as more damage from the Death Company, like a lot more damage, I also had a lot more damage from the Sangre Guard, just because, you know, 10 Infernal Pistols hitting on 2s usually meant that, you know, there was more damage coming out from them for sure, right? So yeah, it's been so what was the question? will you go back to lag? So yeah, I mean, at the moment, I had to change everything up with lag. It's not like I don't like it, but yeah, I'm convinced for the moment I'm going to run Angelic Inheritors to this next event and see what happens. If I do badly, then maybe we'll try lag for the August event. But right now I'm set on... Like, I've been winning a lot with Angelic Inheritors. So I you know, I'm going to play them to the next event. God, glorious times. 10 Infernal Pistols on the Sangre Guard. All those Power Fists on the Death Company. We didn't know how good we had it. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you run one squad of 5, maybe that's what I needed to do, was like try one squad of 5 with a chaplain. I tried doing 2 because that's what I'd been doing before. I didn't really like it. So, I think on that note, I'm going to take off for the night, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for hanging out as always. Like, it wouldn't really be a stream or a channel without you guys hanging out. I'll try and have a game next Wednesday. You know, that was the plan for tonight, obviously didn't happen. So it'll be probably Death Guard next Wednesday. I'll be back on Saturday. I've got a pretty big video coming out on Friday. So you'll get your tactics video on Friday as always. There's a different type of video I've done this Friday. One that I haven't really ever made before. So let me know what you think of it. And before I go, I'm gonna drop my raffle link into the chat. If you haven't bought a raffle ticket yet, it's cheaper than the menu at McDonald's. We were talking about that earlier, right? The dollar menu from McDonald's is now like $1.30. Well, my raffle ticket's like $1.29. If you buy a raffle ticket, you can win $100 of Blood Angel stuff, and you can support a children's hospital at the same time. So the raffle's going on until the 8th of next month. So if you can't afford a ticket this week, you can always buy one next week. I'm trying to raise over $1,000 for the children's hospital. That's my target anyway, and we're close. So if you haven't, I'm going to make a video probably next week, plug in the raffle one last time, because I'd like to do $1,000 for the children's hospital. So guys, have a great evening. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you on Friday for the tactics video. By the blood. Peace. Peace, 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 peace.